Hey, my loves. Thank you for joining Power Conversations and Connections with Susan, where we talk life, the beauty and vulnerability of self-love, and evolving into our best selves. Thank you for joining us. I wanted to talk about finding your beauty. I don't know that I coined it. I don't know when it came about, but for me now, I say a lot. There's beauty on the other side, right? Because I'm on the other side. I'm 60, feeling good in a really great place and space, had a great career, I've been an entrepreneur. Now I do both. And I get to do what I love. But the reason I say there's beauty on the other side is because of me and because of how I've grown to love myself, to value myself, to understand myself. What do I need? What do I want? What's good about me? What's straight trash that needs to be worked on every day, right? And how to be authentic and vulnerable. So for me, there is beauty on the other side, but I didn't get here yesterday. It's been a road, y'all. This journey, this evolution into my best self and continuously working towards self-love has been work. The ebbs and flows of life, you can attest to that, get you. Sometimes you're on a great high and you're doing very well. One thing happens and the bottom drops out and you're looking for somebody to pick you up off the floor because you can't get up yourself. What I want you to leave this episode with is, where are you going? What's your go-to to pick you up when there's no one there? That's the beauty that I have now that I'm here. I've got memories. I've got friends. I've got circumstances and things that I've come over that I remember how I got over, right? And so what is going to be your go-to? Because I'm good. I have beauty, but I'm almost guarantee you that it's still true. I don't know who said it first, but my daddy used to say, if you're not going through something right now, just keep living, right? So something's going to happen. Hopefully it's a small something. You can rebound right away. But what happens when you literally need to be picked up and there's no one there? What are you going to go to? There was a time in my life where I needed somebody to pick me up off the floor. Well, more than one time, but this time in particular. And what do I do when I need that encouragement, that pick me up, that reminder of how far God has brought me, that reminder of how he just came in and literally made a way for me to make it from one moment to the next. I didn't say strive to the next thing. Literally, put one foot in front of the other. I got you. That place there. One song. I have a playlist. This playlist is 12 years old. I still have it. The first song on this playlist is Marvin Sapp. You Are God Alone. If you've never listened to it, Google it, pull it up on your Amazon Music, in your iPhone. You Are God Alone by Marvin Sapp. Whenever I'm in that place where I don't care to talk to anybody about it, I don't know how to talk to anybody about it, it's me and Jesus. And, he God all the time. But sometimes we don't feel like we can reach him, right? Sometimes we feel like, where are you, right? We question, how did we get here? And again, this is about making it through so you can see the beauty in it. When I get to that place, I pull up that song, and the first song, I pull up the playlist, and the first song on that playlist is You Are God Alone by Marvin Sapp. I can hear it in my head, right? When I'm feeling shameful or uncertain or disappointed in myself or people around me, when I know that I know that I know that I've disappointed God, when I know He's asked me to do something and I didn't do it, and then I felt the consequences of not doing it. When I knew better, but I didn't do better, and it had nothing to do with Him. You know, I pull up that playlist and it takes me back, all the way back to a visual that I can see right now of the house that I left, of the road that my, at the time, Pacifica sat on, of the vision of my clothes in the back of that truck, sitting in a cul-de-sac in the middle of the day, trying to figure out how in the world, how in the world did I get here? I was making 6 figures long before it was a cute thing on these social media streets. But at that time, I was questioning, and rightfully so, how did I get here? I would put that playlist on, get out of my car, and praise God all over that paved, that street. It was a side street. It wasn't a fully developed street. It didn't sit on the street. It was a neighborhood, and you know how a neighborhood is under construction. So you got this road that's very rarely traveled. And I would sit on that road, and when it would hit me where I was, I would get out and I would put that playlist on, and Marvin Sapp would give me exactly what I needed. That song would remind me of the fact that I did not have to figure it out, that I just had to surrender, that I just had to give up whatever I was holding on to, that I had to accept the mistakes that I had made that had put me in that position, and that I had to know that in spite of that, I was still His child, that He still had me in the palm of His hand, and that no matter what, He was going to figure it out. All I needed to do was submit and surrender. You may not have my belief, and that's fine, to each his own. But what are you going to pull on to help you when you are on the floor and there's no one there to help you? What are you going to think about, remember? And the reason that I go there is because it was 12 years ago. And it's a whole nother ball game. It's a whole nother conversation. I'm on a whole nother side. Yes, I have had some moments like that, not to that depth. Well, that's not true. I did have another one to that depth. But I use that as fuel to know that in this moment, when I'm feeling like that, I have been picked up already through a life circumstance. I've put one foot in front of the other, and I've made it to the other side. And if I did it once, if He did it once, I can do it again. And I can get up off the floor when ain't nobody there to help me. And I could dry my tears when no one is there with a tissue. Or perhaps I get up and I still cry. But at the end of the day, I know how to get up. I know that that was 12 years ago. And if he did it then, and if I made the efforts that I need, I can do it again. And so I say to myself and to my friends, especially my girlfriends who are struggling, who, want to be content, as my mother used to say, wallowing. I'm like, okay, yeah, you get a couple hours. How long you need? You need a couple hours? You need a day? What you need? Go all the way in. Go all the way into the depression. Go all the way into, I don't know how I'm going to make. Go all the way in. And then after that, what's your go-to? That's going to help you to remember where you came from. And you're going to get up. And you're going to move forward. I don't care if it's a minute step. I don't care if it's 5 steps and you sit back down. And then you take another 5. But you're going to move. You're going to move out of that space. And that's the same way I talk to myself. Once I put that on and I let that playlist play, that's my indication. Oh, you're going to get up. This right here, this is not your life and you don't get to stay here. So whatever you're going through, get in it. Go all the way in it. Because when we say do the work, we mean on the good side and the bad side. Go straight into it. Don't do nothing detrimental. Don't hurt yourself. Don't hurt nobody. But sit in that for a couple of reasons. Sit in it because you have to figure out where it came from. How did you get there? Not how somebody else put you there. Because there is often a somebody else side and there's a your side. Two plays the game. Somewhere along the line, you might have done something. Now, this doesn't include abuse or anything of that nature at all. But you have to ask yourself, in this particular instance, what role did I play? How did I get here? Did I participate in my own sitting on the floor and can't figure out how to get up? Because that's how you get out. That's how you get to say it was 12 years ago. That's how you get to say there's beauty on the other side, because you work through the shit. You work through whatever they did, and you work through, more importantly, what did you do? How did you allow? Maybe when I'm down on that floor and I'm trying, that's one of the first questions I ask. How did you even let yourself get here? It is hard work. It is hard work to get to the other side. And I want that for you. I want you to figure out before you're in your 40s and the latter part of life that when we say your latter days are your better days, your latter days could start in your 30s. It don't have to start at 50, 60. You could say whatever was before was good, but what's next is going to be exceedingly better. You could do that. But you got to know. You got to be brave enough. You got to have the courage to say, how did I get here? How did I miss a step and fall on the floor? Because if I know how I missed a step, I know how to fix it. What did I say? Or what did they do? It's not always 100% about you. So you have to confront you, and you have to confront they, whoever they is. What did the girlfriend do that hurt you to your heart? What did the boyfriend do that makes you feel like you can't come back? What did the boss do? What contract did you lose that make you feel like everything is done? In those instances, have a go-to. Have a go-to that you can pull up. Mine is a playlist. First song on the playlist You are God alone. That thing, ooh, ooh, yes. It puts me in the right frame, right? It may not be a gospel song for you. It may not be anything large. It could be a picture that you look at to remind you of how far you've come. You know, it could be a memory that you think of. You know, I journal every day. That's an entirely different podcast. But it could be something like that. So let's take some time to identify what that is now. If you need it, you know. Whenever you need it, you'll know. And that is when you will find the beauty. That's when you will bless your soul. And that's when you can say that I know when I come out of this, when I get to that place of self-affirmation and self-love, that there's so much beauty on the other side, because it just simply is where I've landed on purpose. Thank you guys for joining the conversation. We'll see you next time across social media. Subscribe, Susan R. Appleton. Y'all be good.